studying and doing martial arts for so many years, 45 years, or probably more than 45 years, how do you, keep it up, and is there any tips of advice or secrets?
You definitely have to budget your time, because I find out sometimes when I have a lot of things to do, I budget my time the best. When I have a lot of free time, I budget my time the worst. I cannot budget. So a lot of times when I have a tight schedule, I can do more things because it's budget. As when I have a lot of time, sometimes I don't budget properly. So sometimes I like to fill the schedule up. That forces me, I have so much time for this type of training, so much time for this type of training, so much time for this training. And I feel for me, it works better. Because if you say, okay, you have 7 free hours, and I probably loaf those hours away. So I like to have a sort of a tight schedule because it keeps me on my toes and doesn't make me lax or complacent. Because I think that's the hardest thing. You can be very complacent and say, well, I got this, I have this and this, And I think it's true, like as an example, when I got my black belt in Kempo Karate under Ed Parker, you can get complacent and teach too much. And then you become, and it's good to be a teacher because I think teaching you learn a lot about the art, but sometimes you start neglecting your own personal training, and then it's easy to get the gut because you teach so much. So I think it's important that you have a balance between teaching and you have a balance between training. Or as Socrates, I think Socrates has said that the highest form of learning is teaching. And I believe that, because when I teach, you have to teach on maybe 5 different levels. Because when the class is out there, you have 5 different levels that you have to teach for. Some people can understand it quickly. Other people relate more to visual. Other people relate more to the oral. So that automatically, you have to learn how to teach. You have to learn, like I said, to give the knowledge out in 5 different levels of understanding. And then sometimes as many as 3 different levels of skill. So it teaches you to be aware of the art that you're trying to explain.
If somebody's really serious about studying Jeet Kune Do or Junfang Kung Fu, do you have any advice how they would go about it? I mean, they could obviously go to your academy in Los Angeles. Is there other ways to do it?
Probably the best is to give a phone call to the Inosanto Academy in Los Angeles. It's right near the airport, about maybe 5 minutes away from the airport. And we can refer you to a person who has trained in Junfang Kung Fu, which a lot of people now call original JKD. But that's Junfang Kung Fu, and they can, my wife or the person on the office will probably refer them to some person in the area, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people in the area that are certified and definitely qualified to teach the philosophy and the principles and the strategies and the concepts of the late Bruce Lee in Jeet Kune Do.
Okay, so through the seminars and things, obviously you do a lot of seminars around the world, actually, and you have instructors even in Europe who are certified and qualified, as opposed to people who are just out there doing it on their own. So you can refer someone to.
Yes, we would refer them to the nearest instructor in their area.
In their particular area. Okay, and how do you feel about seminar training? Like, you just did a seminar for us here in Princeton, and you're here a couple times a year, and you go, as I said, to different parts of the world. How do you feel about students in seminars in general, and do you enjoy teaching seminars? And
I started doing seminars in, I think it's probably 1977, and I used to do like just maybe one every 3 months. And I really feel, at that time I didn't think you could produce any good students in a seminar, but here in 1995, some of the best people I've ever produced in the United States are via the seminar training. Some of those guys pick up as many as 30 to 90 hours, and then they go back and they practice the art. And when I see them the next time, they make remarkable improvements.
So you enjoy teaching the seminars?
Yes, I think seminars are a good way to learn. In the beginning, like I say, in the 70s, I wasn't quite sure, but here in 1995, I'm sure, because as I said before, some of the best people in the United States I've trained and produced, and actually I don't produce it, they produce themselves because they put in the hard work for it. But it's definitely from the seminar circuit. Well, here in the Princeton area, or in the New Jersey area, Princeton Academy of Martial Arts, I think, is a very good place to get their training from, and definitely will learn the concepts and principles set forth by Bruce Lee in that particular art, and in other arts also.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Sifu Dan.
Okay, thank you very much.
Our sincerest thanks to Guro Rick Tucci of the Princeton Academy of Martial Arts. Don't go away. Martial Art World will be right back.
If you want realistic, effective self-defense in a clean, professional atmosphere, Princeton Academy of Martial Arts has the program for you. We're New Jersey's center for Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do concepts, Penchak Silat, Thai boxing, Filipino Kali Eskrima, Savate, and grappling. Internationally known director Rick Tucci, certified by Bruce Lee's protege Inosanto and other top instructors. Realistic, not tournament-oriented. Stop by Princeton Academy of